if he put on pads at 7 to like last night, how many times he would have done that in a practice?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. So I think it's a natural now feel for goalies to try that. There wouldn't be nerves involved. It would just be strictly repetition. But his
career's in his hand at that point. If he shoots for an empty net, this is his third NHL game, and he whiffs on it and trickles in front, and Alex Tuch shoots it in, and he's already given up a couple of, you may not see him again.
I don't know.
Or it gets knocked down at the blue line or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I get your point, but
there's some risk involved.
I didn't see a ton of pressure around him.
And it is game 30 in December. Anyway, let's get Craig Berube.
We are in the forgiving world, too, by the way. We could have had a good chuckle on it and moved on.
Yeah, that's probably true. Let's clip 8. We'll hear Berube's thoughts.
Your goalie tried to score, and how did you feel about that?
I thought it was a good play. Guys taking the outlets out on him, coming down the wall. Smart play. Fired it down the ice. I mean, I'm okay with that.
What did you think of his game, the way he rebounded?
Well, he settled in after the first two, I thought. He made a couple key saves in the third period, which were important. I thought he handled the puck well. So, I mean, would he want that power play goal back? Probably. But, he was pretty good for us tonight.
I kind of feel like beating the Sabres 4-3, call it 4-3 before the empty netter, is a little bit like Canada beating Latvia 2-1 in the Olympics, where it's like they won, but it's not supposed to look like that. But still, they did get the win, so can't complain too much. John Tavares, hat trick.
Yeah.
Thought he played well, and he could have had more than that.
I thought his energy was terrific.
Yeah. He's at his best. When he beats someone one-on-one, you're like, okay, he's got his legs tonight. He's engaged. He was pretty good.
Yeah. I think the year that he's having is, in all honesty, a statement year.
Mm-hmm.
And come on, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that guys that are in their last year of their deal find different ways to be motivated. And he, on top of that, he had his captaincy taken away from him.
Yeah,
those are heavy things. Those are big motivators for him to come back and say, "Hey, screw you."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going anywhere.
I got 15 by Christmas. He's got another 50 games to get another 15 and hit the 30-goal mark. Pretty good year.
Like, he's showing a lot of juice right now. So keep going.
Do you think?
I don't know where it's going to end up for him and what it's going to look like, particularly on this team. But right now, the production's there, and that's his bread and butter. At the end of the day, he's got to get his points. He's got to produce.
They need him to score for sure. And then what's interesting is they flipped Nylander up on the top line. So we saw Nylander, Matthews, Marner for an extended period, which we almost never see. But all of a sudden, that second line of Tavares, Pacioretty, Nyes is heavy.
Yeah.
I know it's not fast.
No, it's not fast. And if you can play in front of the net, if you can crash, if you can work the walls, it's in your wheelhouse. If you start going north-south a little bit, it might get a little tricky. You saw what happened on Buffalo's third goal, where they're got to skate 1,000 miles in the neutral zone to try to catch somebody. That's what you kind of want to avoid with those guys.
Yeah, it's interesting to know how sustainable it is, come playoffs. You're looking for options that are sustainable. If you have that line and can load up that top one, they all like to shoot. They all like to get to the blue paint. Are they redundant on the same line, or are they just a handful? I think against certain opponents it might work. I don't think it works against the Devils or something.
So what you're saying is go find your Latvia and you can score and you can look good, but we're not sure it'll work against top teams.
Perfect. Yeah, what I'm saying.
What I like about that trio together, and they're three worker bees on the same line. Like, they're all going to go grind. They're going to do exactly what the coach wants them to do. Stylistically, I mean, hand up, admittedly, if we said coming into the season, John Tavares might be perhaps the best forward to acclimate to the Craig Berube system.
Mm-hmm.
I would have. I don't know if I envisioned that, but truthfully, he is. He's literally been that guy.
I had that same thought driving in today. I was like, man, it works with Berube and him.
It's unbelievable, all the work he does. But in front of the net, yes, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was saying all the work in the dirty areas in front of the net, just getting your butt down in front of the goaltender, playing behind the goal, below the goal line. Like, he's found that niche, and it works really well under Craig Berube.
It does, until you go through those small pockets where where the stars are a little cooled off and there's no secondary scoring. And then we go, Berube's a little too simple, this system. Maybe, you know, what's going on? He's got to free these guys up a little bit. And, you know, all of a sudden it's not working for
Yeah.
There's a fine line
Long
there.
stretches of no offense at 5-on-5 for Tavares.
And we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Why don't we
He's either really hot, it seems, or
he's a bunches guy. He definitely scores in bunches. We do have Berube on his hat trick in season, clip 6.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this guy's got a heavy stick, smart, competitive. I mean, and he works at his game constantly, even at this age, and he's still doing a great job. You know, it's great to see him. He's been excellent for us all year.
We actually have 3 Tavares clips as well there. Not sure if any of those. Why don't we listen to Berube talking about flipping Knies and Nylander first? We'll do clip 2 here, and then we'll hear from John.
I thought in my head that if I could get Tavares with Knies and Pacioretty out there at times against the Thompson line, you know, it's a big line, heavy line. So that was my thought a little bit, and not so much use Matthews against them the rest of the game. We were down, so I wanted to kind of loosen those guys up a little bit and give them some different looks. That was kind of like my thought process on it, and it worked out.
That was a Sheldon Keefe-esque thoughtful response on his thought process.
I know.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
the key was that he was down when he did it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I got to,
Chasing it here.
come on.
Yeah.
I'm got $50 million in 4 guys, and I'm down to this team right now. So I think he muscled right up with Matthews, Nylander, and Marner.
Suddenly you get your good players and you go do the thing.
Yes.
Go do the, And
Go do the scoring thing.
those guys together this year have been, and this is going to shock you, elite. Like they've controlled 66% of the expected goals on the ice together. Shots are 49-19 when they're on the ice. They're amazing when they're on the ice together. So,
Okay, the other aspect is Max Domi.
mm-hmm.
Shut some people up, I think, last night a little bit.
He had a really good night.
He did have a good night.
I do think that having Bobby McMahon back totally changes their ability to get depth scoring. The third line is so much better, causes the turnover on a Greenway pass. But Robertson, last year, do you remember how often he would score post-scratch? J.D. Bunkus was calling him Scratch and Score was his nickname. He was scratched 4 games before this goal, so they get him back in.
That's pretty good.
That's creative, JD. Well done.
And
He
so,
should get his own show if he's doing stuff like that.
we do have a clip from Berube listening, talking on Domi and Robertson.
They played excellent. I thought that they were way more engaged with their physical play and hounding and puck battles and things like that. And they did a real good job. That line was excellent tonight for us, and we needed them to be.
And we'll take that right into clip 5 on Domi breaking through, please.
It feels good, trust me. I mean, he's not happy that he hasn't produced or scored, and we need him to. But we need him to play that style of game that he played tonight. You know, that's the difference for me. Way more engaged.
Hey, third line. You want to win Stanley Cups?
Need a good one.
They're the game breaker. They're the game changers.
Is there anything for you where he seems to have these nights where when he's at center, like just being able to skate a little bit more? He's not going to get to play with as good players if he's there, but he does seem to get his feet moving better. Anything to that for you or not?
Do I prefer him in the middle? I don't know if it really matters to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's very versatile. I do. I think he can play both sides. I think it just depends on who he's with and how it's kind of bouncing for him. You saw that play right at the blue paint where the puck just had a horrible bounce on him.
Yeah.
Where it's an easy shovel in for another goal for him.
Yeah.
But I think it's just pockets and windows for him. And I think he's that guy that you don't necessarily set anywhere up. You just kind of move him around a little bit when it's needed.
Yeah.
Instead of a fixed dollar amount. This could result in Marner's cap hit exceeding Matthews' $13.25 million, conflicting with the Leafs' new financial strategy. Ferris is known for driving negotiations to the limit, often taking his clients to free agency. This raises fears that discussions between Marner and the Leafs could drag on until July 1st, giving Marner and his camp all the leverage in negotiations. Another complicating factor is the rising market. LeBrun noted that Mikko Rantanen believes he could secure $14 million per season as a free agent. This sparks the question, could Marner demand even more? And would Ferris take that gamble, knowing the Leafs might opt to move on and sign another player? Marner has made it clear on multiple occasions that Toronto is where he wants to be. As a local player with deep ties to the city, he's expressed his desire to spend his entire career wearing the blue and white of the Leafs. However, staying with the team may require him to accept less than market value, especially if the front office remains committed to its new salary structure. Such a sacrifice could be vital for the team's collective success and to avoid financial issues that have plagued the recent past. While negotiations are still in the early stages, it's evident that Marner's future with the Leafs is at stake. Maple Leafs fans may need to prepare for the possibility of significant changes, but they can also trust in the player's commitment to the city and the franchise to find a compromise. The Maple Leafs' decision to implement an internal salary cap reflects a broader shift in their team-building philosophy. After years of prioritizing top-end talent with hefty contracts, the organization appears determined to strike a balance between superstar contracts and depth throughout the roster. This strategy aims to avoid the pitfalls of past seasons, where a lack of financial flexibility often left the team vulnerable in critical playoff moments. For Mitch Marner, this shift creates a unique challenge. On one hand, his value to the Leafs is undeniable. A consistent top scorer and elite playmaker, Marner has been instrumental in driving the team's offense. On the other hand, his ability to command a salary that rivals or exceeds Austin Matthews could put the Leafs in a difficult position, especially with a potential need to strengthen other areas of the roster. As the 2023-24 season progresses, the Leafs must weigh the potential consequences of sticking to their cap philosophy. Losing a homegrown talent like Marner would undoubtedly sting for fans and the organization alike. However, allowing one player to dictate financial terms beyond the team's structure could hinder long-term success and force painful sacrifices elsewhere. Adding to the complexity is the looming free agency of William Nylander. If the Leafs are to stick to their internal salary cap, they may also face challenges in retaining Nylander, who could command a significant raise. Balancing contracts for both Marner and Nylander within the new framework could prove to be the ultimate test for Toronto's management team. Another factor at play is the team's ultimate goal, winning the Stanley Cup. While star players like Marner and Matthews are crucial, history has shown that depth and balanced rosters often prevail in the postseason. If the Leafs fail to manage their finances effectively, they risk falling short of building a championship-caliber team, even with elite talent. For Marner, the decision to stay with the Leafs might come down to more than just dollars. His connection to the city, the fans, and his teammates could be deciding factors. If he prioritizes legacy and loyalty over maximizing earnings, there's a strong possibility that he'll work with the team to find a deal that benefits both parties. Negotiations will also test Darren Ferris, known for his hardline tactics in securing lucrative deals for his clients. While pushing for top dollar is expected, Ferris may need to weigh the risks of alienating the Leafs management and fanbase. A prolonged stalemate could damage Marner's relationship with the team and its supporters. The Leafs management, led by general manager Brad Treliving, faces a pivotal moment. Treliving's reputation as a negotiator and team builder will be on full display as he navigates this high-stakes scenario. Striking the right balance could solidify his tenure in Toronto, while a misstep might set the team back for years. For Maple Leafs fans, the coming months will be filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Marner's future, along with the team's ability to stay competitive under financial constraints, will likely dominate conversations as the season unfolds. Supporters can only hope that the team's new approach leads to greater playoff success and, ultimately, the elusive championship. In the end, the outcome of these negotiations could redefine the Maple Leafs' identity for years to come. Whether it results in retaining Marner or reshaping the roster, the team's commitment to an internal salary cap signals a clear focus on long-term sustainability. Fans will be watching closely, hoping for a resolution that keeps the team's core intact and their championship dreams alive. As the negotiations with Mitch Marner progress, another layer of complexity is added by the external competition in the NHL market. Teams with more cap space and fewer restrictions could easily present lucrative offers to Marner if he reaches free agency. The Leafs are not only negotiating with Marner but also indirectly competing with other franchises willing to outbid them for his services. One example of this is Mikko Rantanen, whose potential $14 million value on the open market highlights the growing demand for elite wingers. If Rantanen secures such a deal, it could set a precedent that Marner's camp would use as leverage. The Leafs, however, must remain disciplined, as breaking their internal salary cap for Marner could lead to similar demands from other key players down the line. The looming specter of free agency means the Leafs have a limited window to strike a deal. If negotiations drag on into the off-season, the leverage shifts heavily in favor of Marner and his agent. Darren Ferris, known for his strategic patience, could use this to push for maximum value, putting even greater pressure on the Leafs management to make a decision. This scenario also places significant pressure on head coach Sheldon Keefe. Managing a team amid ongoing contract uncertainty can disrupt chemistry and focus. Keefe will need to ensure that the team remains united and focused on their performance, even as the media and fans speculate about Marner's future. Meanwhile, the Leafs core group, including Austin Matthews, Morgan Rielly, and John Tavares, will likely play a role in influencing Marner's decision. The camaraderie among the players and their collective drive for a championship could persuade Marner to accept a deal that aligns with the team's financial structure. On the flip side, the Leafs could explore contingency plans if a deal with Marner doesn't materialize. Trading Marner would be a bold move, but it could bring significant assets in return, potentially bolstering the team in areas like defense or secondary scoring. This option, while unpopular with fans, might be necessary to maintain roster balance. The timing of these decisions is also critical. With the trade deadline months away, the Leafs must assess whether keeping Marner without an extension risks losing him for nothing in free agency. A preemptive trade could avoid the scenario, but it would also signal a significant shift in the team's short-term goals. Fan sentiment will undoubtedly influence the team's approach. Marner is not just an exceptional player, he's a fan favorite and a symbol of homegrown talent succeeding in Toronto. Losing him could lead to backlash, especially if the team struggles in the aftermath of his departure. The broader NHL landscape also plays a role. As other teams navigate their own salary cap challenges, the Leafs can learn from their successes and failures. Organizations like the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights have shown the value of balancing star power with depth, offering a potential blueprint for Toronto's future.